All right, gentlemen, this week, the top 5 was top 5 TV shows from your childhood. So that means like it has to have a show. It has to be a show, not a movie. Like episodes, seasons, at least one season. And
No
then,
reality TV.
Did
you count that?
I didn't say that actually. I didn't say that. I said you
Oh,
first had to. You first had to watch it before you became an adult. The first
Real
time you
World
watched it.
versus Road Rules would have definitely made the list if that was the case. I used to love that.
You had to be
Really?
a fan of it when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Dave, what do you got?
I'll go
Dive
first.
in. Number 5.
I don't think I'm gonna have any crossover with you guys.
I have
None?
None.
How many honorable mentions do you have?
I didn't have any. I didn't write any
Oh,
down.
I got
I
Hellas.
thought of some, but I didn't write.
I
it
got
down.
3.
All right. We'll do those last.
Did I put any down? No, I didn't.
All right, let's hear it. Top
All right.
5.
So you guys are. I don't think you're gonna like any of mine. Actually, I don't think you're like any of them. So number 5. Sorry, number 5, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Definitely not.
Yu-Gi-Oh. So
Nerd.
big time. So it was. This show came out in 2000, and it was a show that also had a card game. The card game was very popular. It's actually
Is this
still
like a
popular
Pokemon
today.
rip-off?
It's nothing like Pokemon.
Oh,
It was.
okay.
I mean, it's.
Dude,
it's
don't get offended.
Same. It's same. Hey, same.
Same kind of
So,
different.
but there was a trading card game, collectible card game, right?
Okay.
That you
Yeah.
played one
Right.
v one,
Right.
battled back and forth, and the game you played in real life was the game they played.
Are you explaining this to us or to the listeners?
This is for the listeners.
Okay.
Have you? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
I think you might as well be talking about Pokemon, right?
You didn't know Yu-Gi-Oh was a card game? Like, did you know Pokemon was a card game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I had the cards. Me and my brother and I had a couple buddies that we would just duel. Is what we would call it, back and forth. And in the game, the show was based off, vice versa. Like the same. You're playing the same game that they're playing.
To me, it's basically Pokemon, but with different animation and
I mean,
characters.
well, in Pokemon,
So who was
in the-
first?
I
Who
don't
ripped
know.
off who?
They're really not at all similar.
Just the meatheads are like, come on,
Yeah.
we know they're the same.
They're
dude.
not,
We
like,
know
at
they're
all.
the same.
And-
Yeah,
in
Star Wars, Star Trek situation.
In the world
Yeah.
of Pokemon, like the Pokemon existed. Like they're like pets. They actually existed. It could hurt you. Like
Yeah.
And it was actually, at least at the first 2 seasons I watched, it was a card game. There was no actual creatures that existed.
Oh, they're just playing cards?
Yes, when they played the card, they had the cool thing was like they had these like big arenas that you played, right? And you play, in the game, in the world you could play without that, but these huge arenas you played, and they played the card down, and then the monster with like a hologram of the monster would like come up on the thing.
That sounds
And that
kinda
was
cool.
pretty cool. Like I was like, and then you like attack, and they'd attack, but they weren't
Oh.
real. They were just it was a hologram. That's
Sure.
that's the difference. Is that in Pokemon these were actually real beings
Yeah.
in that world. These were
I'm
just
kind of feeling that though a little bit.
and then so like you just fight.
Not at all.
And me being a big gamer, right?
hype
I've always been
Dave
a,
up.
like
Yeah.
board games, and like
Yeah.
this was just another game. So the first season was great, and then the second season was good, and then it got too much like I'm gonna steal your soul and send you to the shadow realm, and like I don't know. It was less about the game and more about this other stuff, and I stopped watching it. But I like it was on at 4:30, right? I got out of school at 4:10. It was on at 4:30.
You got to book it.
I was like booking it home. I like taped it, got up in the morning to see the new ones. So when I'm making this list, it has to make it. I was so into
I
it.
respect it. I just, it's not for me,
For sure.
dog.
I know for sure. I guess what I'm saying. I don't think you guys are gonna like any of my list.
I can't come at you too hard because I got one on my list that
I can't
you're gonna
wait.
hit me with.
No, I'm not. I'm not ashamed at all.
All right,
My
you're
number
next,
5,
dude.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
All right, your number 5 is Yu-Gi-Oh. Respect.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
Hainer, aren't they the guys that like run all dumb, like with their hands back and
That's,
stuff?
I think that's another Naruto. I want to say.
Naruto.
I never really watched that one.
we're mixing all these up.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
all the anime shows.
That's Suzuki.
All the football guys that are on my side are gonna agree with me, and
Yeah.
gonna be like all the gamers. They're like,
Yeah.
these guys are idiots.
All right. So my number 5 took the world by storm, and we're going with Power Rangers.
That's a great one.
Go Power Rangers.
That's one. That's great. That's a great one.
But Power Rangers still playing to this day or whatever. But it had like a 3 to 4 year run where it was tight. And
Brother.
then-
I was the Red Power Ranger for like 3 Halloweens in a row.
yeah.
I had a
My
thing.
boy Jason, shout out.
I had a thing on my room when I was a kid
Yeah.
that was a motion sensor.
Yeah.
So when you walked by it, it'd say, "Halt! this room is protected by the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And I would get in fights with my sister because she would turn it off.
Yeah.
And I'd hear like her walk by, but I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
hear it go off.
Yeah.
Brandon, stop! You
That's
know,
so
get all
funny.
mad.
Dude, are you talking about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
Oh,
The
yeah.
OGs.
Yeah, OGs.
Tommy.
OGs.
But I wasn't much of
Jason.
I wasn't a huge, I don't remember I didn't put it on my list or honorable mentions, even though I was a huge
Yeah.
Power Ranger guy,
Uh-huh.
because I don't remember the shows very much.
Oh yeah.
I remember the movies.
Oh yeah.
Ivan Ooze.
Yeah, and the pig
Yeah.
that like became like it was like a Spartan warrior pig that just ate everything.
That was a show. Yeah.
That was part of the show?
Yeah, that was like a 20-minute show episode. Yeah.
Was it?
Mhm.
All right, well,
I had that
remember
one. That was called Food
Okay.
Fight.
All right.
So
I
did
remember that one.
you know? So the original
Kimberly?
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
what's up?
Trini, she passed away
Yeah.
Hey, can we talk?
So did Tommy.
recently.
Yeah, the green and white Ranger.
Relatively recently, he
Can-
passed away.
I don't know about you. Go first.
Well, I was gonna say the interesting thing about Power Rangers is they originally pitched the show. So this dude like went to Japan. This guy who did like producing or whatever for kids shows. Like went to Japan, saw this crazy thing on TV, and he's
Yeah.
like, "What in the world is this,
Yeah.
dude?" Because at the time it was all animation. Like the
It was
90s
all Yu-Gi-Oh everywhere.
yeah, 90s was animation.
No, this was
central, dude.
1993.
Yeah. So he sees this, he gets a hold of people, he takes it back, it clips it, takes it back to like all these production studios, Fox, like everybody, and he's like, dude, check this out. This is wild. People are like, no, kids watch cartoons. They don't
Yeah.
watch live action stuff. That's
Sure.
not a thing. And he's like, finally he got somebody to buy in on it or whatever. They bought the rights to the show to be able to use it for like $1 million or something. And so they took the action scenes.
Some poor sucker in Japan thought he was made
Oh,
a
yeah.
bandit.
They took the action scenes from this series. They showed them to us, the
Yeah.
United States kids,
Yeah.
U.S. kids, and then they clipped in like the scenes where like
They're talking
Jason
or
and
whatever.
Billy,
Yeah.
Billy are at the
Yeah.
diner,
And Butch and
they got
Squime or whatever.
the nerd,
Yeah.
the
The
bullies.
bullies.
Yeah, those
coming
bullies were
in.
dipshits.
Yeah, and then when it was time to put on the suits and stuff, bam, they had the Japanese stuff, and they did that for
Left it
years.
out.
I didn't know that.
They kept their budget like to this,
Tyrannosaurus.
and they made like this off of the show.
I didn't know
So-
that.
Yeah.
It was a phenomenon for sure.
And also to this day, I'm like, why were they getting hit with swords and hitting on spandex? And there's like sparks flying off the spandex, man.
Dude, what's funny
Because
is
kids like sparks.
those fight scenes were actually really well choreographed.
Yeah.
Their fight scenes, they were flipping.
Yeah.
And it actually was pretty, like they're pretty intense. It was pretty good. Again, good choreography with the fights. I thought.
Yeah.
Even watching.
We're
it,
probably
as an
like old men ninjas in those suits.
adult. Yeah, probably.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, actual like martial artists. Yeah.
I had no idea that they spliced together the action scenes with the kids.
Yeah.
What I do remember is like, I mean, it's all over the internet. Everyone knows. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the pink one was a girl, the yellow one was an Asian one,
Yeah.
the black one was a black guy. it's like
There's a
zero
it's
creativity.
pure coincidence.
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Pure
dude.
coincidence.
Dude, that show.
The green one was from an Irish guy from Boston.
Dude, it was, every episode was exactly the same though. Exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
They show up, they're at the teen center or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then like the guy comes and like, oh, they're really sharp, powerful. The putties come and they hit him in the stomach and they go away.
Yeah.
And then and then they beat him. They beat the bad guy.
Yeah.
And then he's like, wait a minute, make my monster grow. She throws her staff.
Yep.
Right. It makes it huge.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then like you hear the guitar.
Dude, you were into it.
And they start
Dude.
coming in, and like the Megazord
They're
gets
coming
up.
out of
Go, go,
volcanoes.
Power Rangers. Dude, oh my gosh, bro. Yes.
I was just
absolutely.
not me, dog. I was just like this,
Dude.
Bro, hey, and tell me
just zombied out.
I know
you
that
weren't
face.
you weren't
That face
off
looks familiar.
Bro, you weren't off the couch doing the same moves as them?
Oh, man. Come on.
Oh,
You gotta
my
you
goodness.
watch. You gotta check the tape before you
Check.
No,
walk
dude,
it.
when they're hitting the putty dudes, you're off the couch, dude. You're throwing the moves.
Yeah,
you got a
dude.
pillow. You're throwing them around.
Rita Repulsa. Come on.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good
Goldberg.
one.
Goldberg. Yeah.
I like that 5. I like that 5.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
What do you got?
my number 5. Our list are gonna be wildly. Is King of Queens, dude.
That's funny. I watched that show before I was an adult. But that's a great one.
Yeah, and I
Doug
just
Heffernan.
it was always like
Heffernan.
in like clumps of 2 or 3, and you just
Yep,
watch
yep.
it, and you're just like, I
Yes.
like this guy.
Yes, Doug
His
Heffernan.
wife, I
Carrie.
just always just
My eyes are getting weary.
yeah.
Back is getting tight. Sitting here in traffic on the Queens.
Man.
Dude, that's a great. That's
It's a great, and it's
That's
one of those
good,
like you
dude.
rewatch as an
Oh.
adult, like that, and Everybody Loves Raymond, and it's so much funnier
Still
because you're like,
plays,
oh,
yeah.
I understand.
Right.
That's the part you watch them as kids, and you think it's like funny,
Yeah.
and then you watch it as an adult, you're like, oh, I get it.
Oh,
now.
man,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
he said something, and now his wife's like, you're on the couch, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, so he gets to stay up late.
Like,
That's cool.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
Oh,
Dude, I should
Right.
watch that again. I should watch it as an adult.
no, he's
Yeah.
hilarious.
His
on there,
buddy
man.
Deacon. And,
Deacon, yeah.
Spence.
Yeah.
Who's,
yeah, who works at the subway handing out tickets?
Yeah, yeah. Spence is freaking Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswald.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is Ratatouille.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
And a
He
comedian.
made a climb.
Jerry
liberal,
Stiller.
very liberal comedian.
Jerry Stiller.
Jerry Stiller.
Yeah, Ben Stiller. His
Mhm.
dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he passed
Arthur.
away. Rest,
Yep.
rest in power, King.
King of Queens, dude.
That's a
Like
good one.
clockwork.
Yes, every night. I used to watch it every night. It,
Yep.
it was absolutely. It was 2 in a row.
Yep.
Yeah, and then MASH came on after that.
And that's when you're like, all right, let's go. Let's go.
I actually watched MASH.
you did?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I
Yeah, it wasn't
a
bad.
MASH guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
No,
that's all I got.
That's
Doug
a good
Heffernan is a spirit animal of mine,
Yes.
dude.
Yes.
For sure.
Kevin James is a beast. Good one. That's a good one.
Thank
All right,
you.
on number 4. My number 4, Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Attaboy.
absolutely.
Attaboy.
But mine specifically, I chose because there's been tons, right? The original is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, right? And then there was like Neo and Galaxy and
Yeah.
Wild Force and Dino Force and Ninjas and Samurais and like
Yeah.
every new season they have a new like theme and kind of redo it. My favorite one was Power Rangers Rescue.
Oh,
Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue.
okay.
It was around, let's see, I wrote it down. 2000 also, 2000. So it was
That's your time, man.
yeah, it was. So like, the original ones were all like dinosaurs, right? These were all like rescue. It was like a rescue. It was like there was like the Red Ranger was a firefighter, and then like there was like a medic, and there's
Nice.
like a submarine guy, and I don't know, and like a recycler. I don't know. It was like a trash. Like I don't know. I'm not sure how she made their team, but
They were the original
thing-
Paw Patrol.
The reason I love Power Rangers so much because I had really for real. It's exactly the same. But they had the Megazords, obviously that they had. They had the Zords, individual Zords, and they came together to make the Megazords.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I had almost all of them.
Oh, me too.
I had the
fam.
actual toys.
Me
I have them
too.
still at my parents' house, and I loved the rescue. They had these. One of them was a train, and like inside of them were like the smaller ones. Like went inside, like opened up, went inside,
Yeah.
and like they combined. Oh, loved it. Again, woke up I taped it. Woke up in the morning to watch it on Saturdays.
Would you play with the toys while you watched it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
I don't know if I did that as much. It
I was never, like, a
I
big
was usually
action
like
figure
locked in, and then
yeah.
I would like recreate the.
Yeah, you got to
Dude,
go
I would,
back.
I
yeah,
had
I would
the
like
full
fight
me-
the teddy bear or whatever it was. The villain was some other kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
toy, and Power Rangers. I loved all of them, but specifically, I chose one. It was
Rescuers.
I like
Rescue.
that, man.
Power
I
Rangers
like
Rescue.
that. So we had the same
So-
list, same choices, but
100%.
different.
Yeah.
I like
Power
that.
Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. Oh man,
There we go.
dude, I got all the theme songs. I got the theme.
Oh, yeah,
songs
you
locked in.
love yourself some songs.
Let's see if you can get this theme song.
All right.
My number 4, Saved by the Bell.
Ooh.
I didn't watch that one.
Yeah.
It's all right because I'm saved by the bell. Yeah, dude.
I didn't watch that one.
Yeah.
I was a Saved by the Bell guy.
Well, I'm trying to remember the theme song that before that.
When I wake up in the morning and I better get it on time. Yes.
I was worried about copyright strikes, but I think we're okay.
Also, though, how wild is it that we watch that and I'm like, dude, that's what we're gonna be like when we're teenagers, and they're like 25-year-old
Yeah,
dudes.
I know.
Yeah.
The only character I know is like Screech. Was that a character?
Yeah. Dustin
the only
Diamond.
one you
only
know?
I couldn't name a single other character.
Dustin
I never,
Diamond, dude,
only
he's dead.
ever watched it once.
Yeah, he's dead.
So,
Mario Lopez.
oh, was he on there?
He looks,
Got to start.
Yeah,
he looks amazing. You see
yeah, he
him?
does.
Yeah, he looks great for his age.
Yeah, I like Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
They're always like rebel rousing.
You know, my favorite one is there's
Grabbing
a
some
series
rebels.
called Zach Morris is Trash. Zach Morris is trash.
No,
But they go back and it's like when they redo like the Karate Kid, and you find out like, oh, he was actually like the antagonist in this
Yeah.
whole movie or whatever. The Zach Morris, they go back in all these scenes, and they're like, all right, so here's what Zach Morris does first, and they're basically calling him like a jerk the whole time because it's like he did this, and point out the fact that like he screws all these people over all the time, but we
Yeah.
always loved him. He was like our favorite character
because he's
on
like
show.
the
preppy. Yeah.
I have nothing to add to that one, but I know it. I definitely know it. It's definitely a popular show.
It might have been a little before your time because I want to
It might
say
have
it was
been.
like,
It might have been.
but they started out like a freshman year.
Yeah.
They went to college.
Oh, like Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
But see, like I wasn't like a consistent watcher. I caught it when it was on, or like my sister wouldn't let me have the remote.
So my
channel
sister was
changer.
big on it, so I liked
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
So I know all the people's names.
Are you
Nice.
your older sister?
Mm-hmm.
See, yeah, you don't know what that's like, dude. You always probably had the channel changer ready to
You're the
go.
older
True.
brother.
I was the oldest.
Yeah, you're
you're running.
punked
You're running
everyone out,
point,
dude.
bro.
Yeah, you don't have the options. We're watching this.
You don't know what it's like to watch Lizzie McGuire for 7 hours on a Sunday, dude.
I like Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah.
I watch Lizzie McGuire. It's not on my list.
All right, never mind.
But hey, we're with each other.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
90210 or whatever.
Yeah. What's the witch with the black cat? Salem,
Sabrina.
Sabrina the Teenage
Yep.
Witch,
Yep.
and then my sister watched some dumb shows.
Dude. We might have the same childhood.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, we're finding out
Do
things
right.
about
become
each
best
other.
friends?
All right, my number 4. Oh, your number 4 was Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell.
My number 4 is Malcolm in the Middle.
Ooh,
Mm.
good one.
Always,
Breaking Bad guy. Was
Yeah.
the dad.
yeah,
Cranston.
yeah, correct.
Right?
Yeah, Bryan
Correct.
Cranston.
Yeah.
I
Frankie
I can't
Frankie
recall specifics of the show, but it was the same thing. Like anytime I saw it, I turned it on.
Mm.
I loved how dumb his older brother was.
Yeah.
I loved, like,
Yeah.
I just like
Yeah.
everything about it was. I was just like, this,
Yeah.
this
And the
is-
dad is another one. You like as you're older and you like re-see clips of it, you're like, oh, dude, like I am that guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's me.
He's
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
him.
Yeah. There's this.
I'm him.
There's
him,
this.
not in a
There's
good
this
way.
clip of him. I'll have to send it to you. But he goes to fix. He has like a few hours on a Saturday to fix something that his wife's been on him about fixing for like months. He goes to fix like the stove. Something breaks on the stove, so he goes out to get like his he goes to the store or something. His car breaks, so then he's going to his neighbors to grab something, and like on the way there, something else breaks.
Yeah.
So his wife's like yelling at him, like, "Why aren't you fixing the stove?" He's like, "Can't you see that's what I'm doing?"
Yeah.
because everything broke.
That's funny. And Frankie Muniz
Yep.
was the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Did he break the fourth wall? That one where he talks to the camera.
Yeah. He would.
but yeah, I love it because it was all boys. They're
Yeah,
always in
that's a good one.
mischief.
Dewey.
Dewey
the
was
little
the
brother.
youngest,
The little brother.
yeah. Dewey. That's right. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. You brought me back on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I watched that one
take.
sometimes, but it definitely wasn't a favorite. But it's a good one. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
For
Thank you.
sure. All right, you guys aren't like any of these. I just know for sure,
It's
but
okay.
I got to
Dave,
be honest.
You're
with you.
being.
Gotta be
yeah,
straight with
don't
you.
worry, man.
My number
It's a safe space.
3
Mm-hmm.
is Fairly Odd Parents. So I was a big Nickelodeon guy when
We'll
I
get into
when
that
I was a
in
kid.
second.
So Fairly Odd Parents
Fairly
came
Odd
out in
Parents, Fairly Odd Parents. With Timmy, was it?
yes, Timmy Turner.
Yeah,
What is this show?
I know. I've seen
It
it.
was
I know the title, but I'd never watched it.
well, Timmy was an average kid that no one understands. Mom and Dad and Vicky always giving.
Is
him
it a
notes.
cartoon?
Yeah.
It's a cartoon.
It was
Dude,
cartoon.
let my boy cook, man.
Yeah.
He was on a
Sorry,
roll
I'm
there.
sorry.
That was just the theme song again, just spoken word.
No, spoken word. My bad. See, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was a kid and he had two fairly like godparents that like he could just wish for anything.
Oh, didn't one of them? Did this kid have like big old
Yep.
black glasses with orange hair?
No.
You're thinking of Dexter, dude.
I don't know.
Dexter's
Yeah, he had buck teeth,
Laboratory.
Pink shirt, pink hat, and his godparents were Cosmo and Wanda, and he just wished for things, whatever. They could literally, there's a whole actually they couldn't do whatever. There's a big rule book that they had to follow called the rules. They
Yep.
couldn't break any of the rules, and then like he would just wish for stuff, and then hijinks obviously would ensue because he
He didn't think of everything.
for sure exactly he didn't. He's a kid. He wishes for something. He's like, oh, I didn't think of that, and that's the whole show. Yeah,
Right.
you know what I mean.
Over
Like,
and over. Yeah.
yeah. But like I watched it again with my kids
Yeah.
as an adult. And I'm like,
too.
I'm still like laughing. Like this is
Oh, yeah,
hilarious. Like
really?
it's still funny. Like I'm still, and I remember I watched a lot of Nickelodeon, a lot. So I knew like every episode. I'm like, oh, I'm like quoting it. I'm like, the dad is hilarious. Cosmo's funny. Like, yes. So Fairly Odd Parents from Nickelodeon. This is 2000 and what did I say?
I can
One.
grab the years. Yeah.
2001. These are all about the same time, which is kind of like all of my favorites came out almost
Mm-hmm.
around the exact same time.
Yeah.
Mine kind of
So-
too, I feel like.
So yeah, Fairly Odd Parents is a great one. Still playing today. It was a big hit. It was a popular show on Nickelodeon
Oh,
too.
yeah.
It ran for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Multiple movies. Yeah, great. Fairly Odd Parents.
Yep.
Number 3.
Number 3.
I vibe with that one, man. See?
I'm glad you at least you knew it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I did not know that.
So my number 3. Well, I'm glad you brought up the Nickelodeon because there is a Nickelodeon, Disney, and Cartoon Network divide at some point, right? It's like the Sega,
PlayStation,
the PlayStation, Xbox thing.
iPhone, Android.
You know, we can
I never knew that.
there was a little bit of divide on like, were you a Nickelodeon guy, are you a Disney guy, or whatever, and there was specific things on each that one didn't have or whatever. But my number 3 that did crossover, and I'll talk about it, was Doug.
Brother. That's on my that's honorable mention.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Patty Mayonnaise.
Loved it, dude.
Skeeter.
Skeeter was the only one a different color. Should we talk about that?
He was green, though.
Are we just
He was green? I thought he was blue.
Nah, it was like a teal.
He was like a teal.
It was like a
everybody
teal
else.
color, yeah.
Everybody else was vanilla.
It was like,
Dude,
was
I
white.
just
was white.
you know what?
The bad guy was like a green. Wasn't he like green? The bully was like a greenish
but he
color.
had like weird hair. Is Roger?
Roger,
and
but
he wore a
I
leather
wanna say he
jacket.
he had like a weird green tint to him. Maybe not. Let me look him up.
I think he had a different color. I think you might have been right. But Skeeter was definitely
Yeah, Skeeter was green. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love how Roger wore the leather jacket. It's like every bad kid in the '90s had a leather jacket on. You immediately know that's a bad kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog.
Oh, he was
for sure
green.
green, dog.
Okay, Skeeter was teal.
Let me see
though.
Skeeter.
So this
Okay.
is the bad guy.
Yeah, but look up Skeeter.
Okay, I'll look.
So he was like Dominican. Or
Jamie,
something.
where's Jamie? Dude, you know what lives rent free in my head from Doug? Are you done? There was an episode where he turns into Quail Man.
Well, man, he has
Well,
underwear
man,
outside his
underwear
pants.
on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
There's Skeeter. Yeah.
here's Skeeter.
oh yeah, okay.
He's like a teal.
Okay. There was an episode where he's like Quail Man and there's like a swamp monster or something.
Yeah.
And he's got to like defeat the swamp monster or whatever. In my head, have you guys seen the video? My name's Old Greg.
Mhm. Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, that
Old
guy,
Greg.
whoever thought of that, watched that Doug episode.
Really?
And that's where he
They
got
got
that
influenced?
monster from.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. I don't really know why,
Yeah.
but that's just in my brain that
That's-
those two are
okay.
together forever.
Yeah.
All right.
But no, I love Doug. It had his, his sister was like artistic Judy, and she was like all weird and stuff.
I'd
and
look her
Doug,
up.
he wore the same thing every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everyone did though.
But
Yeah,
Doug
everyone
actually
did.
had a stint where Disney picked up Doug for a season,
Oh.
and there was like, if you look it up, Doug looked a little bit, and everybody looked a little bit different or whatever. Everybody hated it, so then it went back to Nickelodeon. So Doug was like one of the only shows that crossed over into both networks.
Oh,
at one
wow.
point, if you guys didn't know that.
I didn't.
Yeah.
How's it going?
I did not.
Yep. And
good
Doug
one.
also, very popular band, ran the Beats.
The Beats. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Oh, yeah.
dude. These are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my honorable mention because I watch all
like
the time,
that.
but I don't recall a lot of the stuff.
See, I don't remember. I can't remember any specifics.
Oh,
Zero.
really? You don't remember his
specific
dog,
episodes.
Pork Chop?
Pork
So
chop,
I remember,
Skeeter.
I remember the
Patty
characters.
Mayonnaise?
I remember the characters,
Yeah.
but I
Is
don't
it-
remember
It's
the
funny.
actual
I remember all the characters, but I don't remember what they did.
plot. I don't remember a single plot of an episode.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just liked it though. I was like,
Yeah, that's
Brain
good.
numb.
I do remember an
television.
episode when it is like, he's like, it's supposed to be in like middle school or 6th grade or something, whatever grade he's in. And he went to a pool party
Mhm.
and he's like trying to get Jack before the pool party. I do remember that episode.
I
He
don't.
started working out like an
know.
hour before.
Gotta get swole. I get swole up.
Just like everybody does on a cruise, right? They're like, oh, my cruise is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm
There you
trying to
go.
lose 25 pounds.
Nice. Okay. Nice. That's a good one. Number 3. Your number 3 is Doug.
Yep.
My number 3, my wife and kids.
Okay, that's with Damon Wayans.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I used to watch that. I used to watch it every week when it
Dude.
came out.
it
yeah.
was.
Yeah.
That was one of those ones. I was kind of like middle school.
Mhm.
I want to say maybe like 5th grade, and watching it was like real problems. You're like, dude, it's one of those things like.
Mhm.
Why is he always giving this kid trouble? Why is he's trying so hard, whatever. And
Yeah.
then
Junior,
you watch
I think
it,
his
yeah,
name.
Junior. You watch it like later. You're like, yeah, Junior's a dipshit.
Yeah.
That was
Honestly,
good.
that's not sticking out in my head.
But I remember
I
like,
remember that one. I watched that one all the time.
yeah, because I liked it because he was always like roasting his kids,
Mhm.
and I was like, I related because my dad would just roast me constantly. I'm like, oh, there's
Yeah.
someone else out here that does that.
Nice. You
And he had a
got
kid. Junior had a baby in high school, Do you remember this? And like moved to the garage.
That's
He lived in the garage for a while.
Yeah, okay.
They had a baby to
Yeah.
get like with his girlfriend or whatever, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
yeah, there was like some real life lessons in there too.
Yes.
you know, but
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yep. That's a good one. I know
can't
that
say
one.
much. I
I
don't
used to
remember
watch
that
that
one.
one every week when it came out. I remember watching it when it was new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
That was
the
good.
Wayans brothers.
Junior had a hot older sister and like an annoying little sister.
That sounds right. Yes.
That's for
I don't.
sure.
I
right?
can't. I can't. No. I'm not saying it's not.
Oh.
I can't remember. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't say. Oh yeah, that's right. Because I don't remember.
yeah.
But,
Wayans
No.
brothers had a run, man, in like the 90s, like early 2000s. They were on everything.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Major Pain.
Ah,
Dude, Major Pain's a
yes.
good
one.
I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
it. I've seen that.
Are you calling me a liar?
That's a good one.
The
Okay.
Wayans brothers TV show was good too, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. We watch that one.
All right. Good talk.
All right.
On to number 2. My number 2. I know you've heard of this one. I don't know if you like it or not, but I know you've heard of it. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, okay.
I loved SpongeBob. I love SpongeBob. So,
You still do?
oh my gosh. 1999 it came out. I watched the first episode when it aired in 99. I was in 2nd grade.
Wow.
A lot of this is timing. Again, like
Obviously,
is
yeah.
one show better than the other show? Like, no,
Right.
it's just like you happen to hit you right at the perfect time of your life, you know. But SpongeBob, hilarious.
Mhm.
Again, it was so funny back then. Up until a certain season, it's still really funny. Again, like I'll turn it on, I'm like, that's hilarious. That's a funny joke. Like as an adult, like that's funny.
Yeah.
Like at a certain point though, they like changed. I don't know if they changed writers or something, but they like switched big time, and it's like got very, very childish. Like there's
Oh,
like
really?
the jokes like we used to be like the kids like don't understand it, and the parents are like, that's good. You know what I
like
mean?
Shrek kind of.
Yeah, but at a certain point, it like they completely. But it was never like inappropriate though, ever.
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But like it was just like some the humor was like more sophisticated. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't understand. It's not just like fart jokes. You know what I mean? But at a certain point, like they like went full
fart joke. Never go full
childish.
fart joke.
Full
Okay.
childish.
Like
I
not
don't know
creative
when.
or clever anymore.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me getting older. You know what I mean? So it's nostalgia. That could be it. But it really, really seems to me like there was like a
Yeah.
actual change in the writing at some point.
Yeah.
But also, to your point, I randomly will watch it sometimes
Mhm.
whenever it's on
Yeah.
something now. It's one of those like it holds up.
Yeah,
Right.
for
Like
sure.
it's still funny. It's still creative, and there's a reason why it was as popular as.
I
it
mean,
was.
26 years going. Everybody in the country
it's still going.
I don't know if it's still going. I guess,
Oh, I don't-
but everybody in the country still knows it. Like every
Yeah.
single person knows who SpongeBob is. They
Krabby
know-
Patties.
exactly
All that stuff.
Like it's
exactly.
even if you don't like it, you know it.
Right.
because it's that
I
popular.
don't like it.
Yeah,
I
because it's that
didn't like it
popular.
when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I don't like it now. I always thought it was dumb,
Mm.
but I definitely know
exactly.
yeah,
all the
Yes.
Yep.
the squirrel girlfriend or whatever.
Sandy the
Sandy.
squirrel, man.
Yeah.
Sandy Cheeks is her name.
Sandy
What?
Cheeks, dude.
Sandy
What?
Sandy Cheeks.
Stay cheeked up.
The crusty,
Cheeked up, caked up, girl.
the crusty crab, right? And
Yeah.
the city they lived in was Bikini Bottom.
Yep.
Oh,
Another
so
iconic.
dumb, dude. So
Yeah.
It's the theme of it was obviously dumb. But if you watched it, it was pretty funny. Again, it wasn't just like stupid slapstick humor. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. There's interesting stories, for a kid show. And again, it has to be on this list. As far as hours watched, it probably is easily
Up there,
number
huh?
one.
Really?
Yeah, as far as hours watched, I just watched it so much
Yeah.
that it was. It had to make the list. It's probably the first one I thought of, honestly. So
Okay.
number 2,
I can't be mad at that.
SpongeBob
I respect it.
SquarePants. They're still making new movies.
I don't get it.
Like a new movie
Oh, yeah.
came out maybe last year. I
Yeah.
want to say.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah. So 26 years. Doug's not going on still. You know what I mean?
Should be.
26 years is a long
Yeah.
time.
Should
So they hit something right. They did something right.
Yeah,
obviously.
for sure.
Yeah. So my number 2, and Dave, you hit on this earlier, racing home from school to get to it.
Mhm.
This is me with this. I don't have the year like you did. I should have done that. But my number 2, Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
And this
Okay.
is one I know.
Yeah.
I know I was gonna get hit with it. At the time, I knew I was
You
a nerd
guys,
watching it,
dude.
man.
Yeah.
But I actually like kind of concealed this from my friends because
You were
I didn't have, not a lot of my friends were watching this show.
Yeah.
And so I would tape it. I had it taped. It came on at like 4:30 or something.
Yep.
You got to rush home to
Yep.
get there, turn it on.
yes.
But bro, Gohan, Goku,
I never watched this one. Never watched this one.
Vegeta. This is right up your alley, man. I'm so
Yeah,
shocked to
I
this
never
day
watched
you
this
haven't
one.
seen
Yeah,
it.
this was not one that
It was
interested
right
me.
up your alley, man.
Super
Yeah.
Saiyan.
When
right?
he went Super Saiyan,
Those are
Bro.
that's why the kids run with their hands back and stuff, right?
I think
Dragon
that's-
Ball Z.
I think no, it's a different show. It's not. That's
Kamehameha.
not.
Dude,
Nothing.
Yeah.
No,
Can I change your mind?
not one bit.
It's
Dude.
so good, dude. They'd
Put
meet
it
up.
in the same category with Pokemon.
They would have a fight scene for 4 episodes.
Yes, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
they're
that
just
was-
standing there looking at each other, thinking in their head.
Dude,
you
that's
know?
anime. That's the
Yeah.
anime style. That's
Yeah.
that like that.
Oh, I didn't even
I-
see him.
I hate anime style. I hate it. I hate it. I've watched a couple anime
Yeah.
shows that I've liked, but I still hate the style.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's
Yeah.
awful, dude. I
Yeah.
hate it.
So dude went by him. He hit him 6 times. He didn't see it, and then a whole mountain fell down, and he's just like,
Over the top.
"My powers aren't enough for him. I didn't even know."
This is your number 2, dog.
I loved it,
This
man.
is your-
Dude,
I loved it.
you're born in the wrong era, dude. Like it's okay now. It's
Yeah.
okay to like it now. Like there's
Yeah.
like you know what I mean? Like it's not. It used to be like that struck a story in me with my number 5 was Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I remember I dueled. I played. Had all the cards, collected it, knew all about it. High school, I played basketball. I was on the basketball team. You know, before school, there was people. I remember seeing people like in the corner, like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm like, look at those guys. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause,
Yeah.
like I don't want to be like.
Nerds. And
I
they're like,
admit that I was like,
They're like,
knew,
hey.
I knew everything they were doing.
They're like-
I knew all
they're like, "Hey, Dave,
play
you
the
still?"
Super Saiyan Goku 4. Play it now. Play it now. Play it
yeah.
now.
Yeah, Dave's like,
100%. But I'm like, nah, dude, I'm cool and I'm on the basketball team and
Yeah.
I don't do that. Nerd
That should be a
stuff.
topic. I want to tell my kids. I've told my kids, like, dude, if you want to do something, do it.
Dude, that's true.
Be
That's-
weird. I tell all my kids all the time, you're a weirdo.
We should
Be weird.
we should talk about that in full because I would have a lot of things.
Yeah.
to say.
way more
Yeah.
embraced now. I feel like
Yes.
maybe too much.
Dude, the geek culture,
Also, a good
Geek-
point.
Maybe we went too far with that
100%
messaging.
geek culture is now mainstream. Like it's perfectly acceptable for literally anybody to do stuff that was not acceptable before. Like
Let me tell you a story real quick
So-
about Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
I was this was like 4 years ago,
okay,
and there was a couple black dudes on my team, and one guy was talking about Dragon Ball Z. He's get like a new tattoo, and I was like, "You're gonna get a Dragon Ball Z tattoo?"
yeah,
And he's like, I used to think him like Earl Sinclair, like the dinosaur, like that's what I used to call him. He's just like a goofy guy. So I was like, this kind of checks out. He's just a black dude. You
Yeah.
know, you like Dragon Ball Z, whatever. And then I looked at the other black dude. I was like, dude, can you get a load of this guy? And he's like, pulls up his sleeve.
yeah.
And he's got a Dragon Ball Z.
Dude.
I'm just like,
Yes.
oh my God.
Yes.
I was like,
I
Dragon
guess
Ball
it's
Z
for
was,
the culture, I guess.
It was
I-
one that it was. You did not know who were like fans of it, right?
Mhm.
Like the weirdest people you'd ever seen.
Yes.
Like that guy you just said.
Yes.
Like, you were like, oh, do you?
I think
down
of
with that?
kids in trench coats that like
That's what I
Dragon
think
Ball
too.
Z.
Yeah, that's
You
what I think
do?
too. Yes, that's 100%. I think that's
Yes.
what I think. But in quick side note, anime is actually pretty popular in the black community.
I know.
Actually.
And it doesn't make any sense to me.
You would think that it wouldn't, but that's the case. So there you go.
I know, but yeah, I learned that day. I was like, I guess I never came up in the football locker
Yeah.
room, but
Yeah,
I was just
exactly.
like, dang, dude, you guys okay?
Didn't want to
I
admit
guess.
it.
Yeah.
Like
so-
I look at all the white guys, I was like, I guess I'm probably outnumbered here. You
Yeah.
guys probably like it too, huh?
Yeah.
but bro, I was all in, and then they made a live action movie of it, and it
Oh.
was terrible.
I imagine.
yeah,
I
it was
imagine
terrible.
it
I want
can
to
be.
say it probably came out in like 2008, 2009 or something, and it was awful. And it was just like, I hate what it's like, dude. If you're gonna make something, like make it. Don't go half in, like because it could. To this day, I'm like, I hope they come out with like a live action, or I'm not down with like the animation anymore, but like a live action TV show, like something they gotta
Yeah.
pick it up, man.
It just some things don't need to be live action.
Yeah, they just
They just don't need to be.
I don't know how they would do it.
some
with the
things only
hair
should
and
be
stuff.
one season.
everything. Yeah. Well, everything. Like that show's so over the top. Like
Yeah.
anime itself is so over the top. You know, and that's literally it's a specific style of it, right?
Yeah,
And like over the top in animation is one thing. Over the top crazy in a movie, live action people.
It's hard to just suspend belief.
It is
like reality. Yeah,
It's like I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like. I don't know. It's not impossible, but it's just.
I think it's a
tough.
difficult one. That's why they tried it. It didn't work. And it's
Speaking
never
of
come
live
back.
action,
Yeah.
like the new Lion Kings,
Yeah.
they
Pretty
came
good.
out. Hey, there's a live action.
Yeah.
I was waiting for some animals up in there,
Yeah.
letting it rip.
It's not
and
live action.
All just I'm like, this ain't live
It's
action.
just it's different animation.
yes.
Oh,
It's better
yeah, it's
animation.
better.
This just looks really good.
Yeah.
Speaking of better animation,
Yeah.
have you ever seen the scene from the Titanic recently where it's pulling away and it's CGI back, like cutting edge CGI?
No.
I remember it was a huge thing. Everyone was like, look how realistic that thing is.
Yeah.
And you go back and watch it and you're like, what is this piece
Yeah.
of junk?
Somebody draw that?
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, my 4-year-old can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. For sure. Okay. Number
right.
2.
All right.
Dragon Ball Z. Not Dragon Ball. Because there was DragonAll 2. It wasn't one just called Dragon Ball, I think, before.
I don't know. I had like a 2-year stint maybe
Gotcha.
watching it,
Yeah.
and then all the iteration. There's like newer stuff out now.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 years and it made the list?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you loved it.
Oh man, it got me hooked. Dude.
You were all in.
All right.
How old were you?
I was probably like 6th grade.
Yeah, I'd be hiding that,
That
from
was
my
the-
friends
that
too,
was the
dog.
other- that was the other part. Is I was
I'd
too
be
old.
hiding it.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
too old
dude.
to be liking it, man.
That's funny.
But I
Yeah.
did.
No.
Nice.
All right. My number 2 is a cartoon,
Okay.
King of the Hill.
Oh.
Dude, you're
Bobby.
what were your list real quick again? So far?
So far,
yeah.
King of Queens, Malcolm in the Middle, My Wife and Kids, and now King of the Hill.
These are not kid shows, but maybe Malcolm in the Middle.
Brother, I
There's
was,
maybe-
watching,
Theme with
I
college.
was
the
watching
rest are
BET
not.
After
We
Dark
know.
and
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket when I was
Yeah.
a little, like, I was on a different level a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah.
These are not kid shows.
No.
At all.
Colin
I was
None of
watching them as a kid. I
Yeah,
was
I
for
know.
sure a kid.
Sure, you were, but I'm saying these are not shows intended for children.
No.
You had a Full Metal Jacket
Maybe Malcolm
themed
in the
birthday
Middle,
party when you were 7.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You're just like, hey, dude, I want to carry that. I wanna
But
carry
dude,
those
King of the
bullets.
Hill was one of those ones. Is like
It's good.
it was on reruns. I'll click like
Yes.
always.
yes.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
a couple one-liners that still hit. Just the premise of John Redcorn. He's raising like John Redcorn's kid. And he doesn't realize it, and all this.
Yeah,
his
she-
dad has like no shins or something, and he's like super racist against like his neighbor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
And you know, fun fact.
Yep.
My dad
Mhm.
went to high school with the creator,
Oh.
Really?
Mike Judge.
Okay.
Beavis and Butthead, the same guy.
Yeah.
I was like,
My dad was in the same grade with him.
wow.
Went to the same high school with
That's
him.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Hank was in Beavis and Butthead. Like he was like a neighbor or something.
Oh,
who was,
really?
like,
Yeah, he's
mad.
just kind of spun him off.
Crossover.
Yeah, they spun him off from
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead into its
Wow.
own show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like always the Beavis and Butthead pissing him off. And,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
lightweight, we kind of do that now. Like they all got behind the fence and drank beers and just talk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yep.
yeah.
We do. Hey, I'm going outside.
Yeah.
Who's around?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you sit in a chair, and then slowly chairs come over
Yeah,
and just drinking
that's
beers,
true.
watching the kids
Boom-
play.
Boomhauer.
It was very
Howard.
like real. You know, there wasn't no crazy things
Yeah.
happening. Like
He
it
sold
wasn't
propane.
He sold propane.
propane
yeah.
accessories.
Propane.
Yeah.
Bobby, you're getting a C in English. You speak English.
That's a
Peggy.
good one.
Peggy.
Yes, Peggy.
Yeah.
I have a
Yes.
limited impression of Hank on that show. Bobby. Oh.
Peggy. You know Peggy's a nickname for Margaret?
What?
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
no.
Margaret,
Yep.
How?
not Marge.
No, Peggy is a nickname for Margaret.
I like
It's
the
like
nickname
Richard
Margot.
and Dick. You know
Dude,
what I
I
mean? Like,
never
it doesn't
knew
make
that.
any sense for some reason that it works that way. I don't know.
Wow.
There you go.
Fun fact.
That's a good one.
Interesting.
King of the Hill, number
I watched
two.
that one. I watched it a lot, but
Yeah.
not when I was a kid. But yeah, I watched that one.
Not when I was a kid.
Yeah. On to the number ones. Okay. This has to be number one because
No, it doesn't, because my number one has to be number one.
okay, this is my list.
Oh, your list.
This is my list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't creep into
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
list.
I
get
thought
on,
you were trying
get
to
on,
reign
get on,
supreme
get
over
on.
here.
Yeah.
Nah, fam, this is my
All right,
my
all right.
my number one.
All right.
All right,
Pokemon.
fam.
we
No
got
cap.
it.
not
Hey, fam.
Pokemon.
No cap.
Yeah.
It's not Pokemon.
No. So, but it is. No, what's funny? It is anime, but it's like American anime.
What is it?
This is a Nickelodeon show. was a show on Nickelodeon, but it was
Okay.
the art style was
Oh, I can guess what
anime.
it is.
What is it?
Airbender.
Yes, it is
Bang.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, I messed the name up. Damn it.
Fantastic.
Avatar has a show.
So
Not
this
that
is
Avatar.
Not that Avatar. This
Oh,
this came out
different
way
Avatar.
before that. This came out in 2005,
Okay.
Yeah,
and that came out in like 2010.
they
or
put
something
them
like
on
that.
game.
So yeah, it's called Avatar: The Last Airbender, and the whole thing is perfect. Is the perfect from beginning to end. The world that they built is amazing. So like in this world, there's regular people, and then there's also it's based in like ancient times. There's also benders, and they can bend. There's the 4 elements: fire, water, earth, and air,
Mm-hmm.
and they can like manipulate it, right? So like
Any element they can.
no, like there's
Just
water.
air.
There's water benders that can only bend water,
I'm
and they can like manipulate water and like use
Yeah.
it to like do things. And then like earth benders can use it do it with earth, fire can do it with fire, and air can do it with air.
Evil fire
But
benders.
then there's one person called the Avatar, and he was the master of all 4 elements. He could do all of them, and he like kept the peace essentially. And when he dies, somebody else is born. The next Avatar is born, right? So like there's only one at all times.
So there's chaos for like 14 years
Well, what happens? So
until he becomes of age.
well, what happens is
Wow.
the Fire Nation decides like they want to take over the world. Like
Yeah.
the Fire Nation's like we're the strongest. Then they can actually the only ones that can create it. Everyone else has to like take water and use it.
Mm-hmm.
But the Firebenders can actually just create fire.
Also, I think if I could choose one, fire would be the one I would
Fire
choose.
is really yeah. I mean, it was cool. Is like all this is interesting because like Fires has the best attack, but they had like very little defense of moves. But they had like really powerful attacks, and like so each one had their own benefit. Like the Airbenders weren't good at attacks at all, but they could fly around, right?
Or like the fire puts up fire and then they just make a tornado and
Yeah, I mean, but so like the fights were just really interesting because like they're manipulating the air and the water, and then like so the fighter's just like I'm gonna destroy everything, and then the Avatar is a kid, he's a child. He's not so he's like they're like hey you're the Avatar, and he like has to train and learn all the elements, but like when it happens he like runs away. He's like afraid, and he gets frozen for I don't know how many years. He gets
100
frozen for
years.
100 years.
100
Yeah,
years.
100 years. He's frozen for 100 years. Meanwhile, the Fire Nation takes over pretty much everything. They like kill all of the airbenders. Kill them all. Every single one's dead. Besides him. That's why he's Avatar the Last
But
Airbender.
and that's the only element he knows.
Yes,
'Cause
he's
he didn't complete his training.
exactly. He's the last one. And anyway, that's the whole and basically he has to learn all the elements and defeat the fire
Right.
lord or whatever. But it's great from beginning to end. You know, ending a series is difficult. It's almost never they didn't almost never do it right.
Game of Thrones. I'm just kidding. I'm just trying
Don't.
to get you
How
fired
dare
up.
you.
I'm just trying to get you fired up.
They end it. The ending as good as it can get, probably. It's funny again. Like I watched it again as an adult with my kids. I'm in it. I'm like sitting there glued. I'm glued to the TV. I'm watching the whole thing. I'm
Yeah.
laughing. I'm like, this is hilarious. I can't wait to the next episode.
it's nice that you can share these shows with your kids. I can't show my kids these shows.
I know.
yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, for you,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But yeah, so as a kid, I watched it and I kind of lost track of it because I wanted to watch it in order. And then I didn't want to watch it out of order. So I kind of stopped
Yeah.
watching it. I watched it for a while, but then now it's on Netflix and I watched the whole thing. Amazing. They
What'd
made a
the live
movie.
action.
So they made a movie back, I don't know when that was, and it
Yeah.
was horrendous.
Bad.
Very, very bad.
Bad.
But like last year
Mm-hmm.
or 2 years ago, like 2024, 2023, they redid it. And it's a series, like it was
Yeah.
10 episodes. They did a really good job.
It was awesome.
Yes, they did a really good job.
I
So-
didn't know. I didn't
I
know.
got nothing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I thought
Yeah.
one of the sickest scenes in that live action because I didn't know that they could take on the form of previous avatars.
Yes.
And then
they kind of in like channel the
When he channels.
yes, he has like the history of all the avatars.
Yeah.
Because they're basically being reincarnated in this world, right?
Yes.
Like it's the same.
They're the
person.
same person. They're just
Buddhism.
reincarnated. Yeah.
I mean, it is a yeah,
Hinduism.
for sure.
They're
Hinduism.
yeah.
I think.
But yeah, when he does that for the first time, when he brings that like chick out, I can't remember her name or whatever. That
Yeah,
she
I
had like
can't
a
remember her
cool
name either.
like.
yeah.
she looked
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
But yeah, that part I was like, dude, that
Yes.
is a sick
Yes.
because then they're like wheeling all. That's the first time you see all of the elements.
Yes, because she goes into the avatar state, where she like his
Avatar
eyes like
state,
glow,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
like basically channels
His arrow
all
on his
the
head glows?
all the history.
I know that character now that
Yeah.
you say that. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a show that your kids would like. Murphy would love it, guaranteed. And it's great. It's on Netflix. You watch the whole thing. It's plenty. It's good. It's a good show. The whole thing is good. The world is great. It's funny. Great fights. Great fight scenes. Everything.
See, I never watched it. I saw it on as a kid. I never watched it.
Yeah.
And then I watched I knew like of it and kind of like
Mhm.
what was going on with it. But then watching that live action one on
Mhm.
Netflix with Emmett, I was like, dude, this is sick.
Really
like
cool.
I was like, I wish I'd have got back into this when
Yeah.
I was a kid.
I might give it a watch
It's good.
with my son.
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't watch it as an adult, probably. Maybe. I might. It's that good.
You would.
It's that good. I might watch
I
it.
just don't. I can't get into this.
That's
stuff.
fair. That's
I
fair.
can't.
But like,
now.
but again, like watch the first episode, and it's just so like it's like there's so much attention to detail. Like the waterbenders move, like how they control it. They move it like water, right?
Yeah.
They're very like flowy, and like the airbenders are always spinning, like when they all their stuff, and like earthbenders are very like stompy, like stomp, and like
Yeah.
everything's like harsh, and like it just all makes sense. It just all flows
But-
together so well.
And after watching the series, I would like put some thought in it too. Like, what would I want to be?
Mhm.
Because like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, fire, it's cool.
Yeah.
They can like break. But in terms of like, okay, you're not always fighting, right? So like,
Yes.
that's where I would come into
Yes.
play. We're like, dude, the Earthbenders are sick. They can build some cool stuff, right? Like,
yeah,
they're
but
just like,
but you're always breaking everything. Like,
I know, but you see their
giant hole in the ground.
Did you see like their palaces and all this
True.
stuff are like awesome.
And then
Because
they
they're
can
just like, dude, I just want a palace. They're just like,
and they figure out how to metal bend. They figure out how to bend metal, the earthbenders. And then the waterbenders can blood bend, which is like forbidden. Because they can bend the water in your blood.
yeah,
And it's like a forbidden art that you aren't supposed to do. But like certain people know it. And like you can like control somebody's body by bending the water in your blood. And like it's like a
That's kinda
forbidden.
tight.
It is kind of tight. But it's like you shouldn't. It's like a you
I
shouldn't
actually
do it.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I don't know.
They're like, you got hepatitis, homie.
yeah. But then, yeah, the airbenders can fly. Like the thing about airbenders, like they can't. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant, but I don't want to go on too longer. But like airbenders can like they have their attacks are really weak because it's air,
Yeah.
right? But they can literally fly. They can manipulate with their like gliders. They can manipulate the earth.
What do you think they
the-
could do with a
fly
fart,
around.
man? What do you think their farts are ruthless?
Hayner's just hitting his wife with a Dutch oven from the other room. Like,
Bro.
check this
He
out.
has, like-
Emmett, check
Yeah.
this out.
Dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, that reminds me. Did you guys ever used to give your friends the old cup of cheese?
Cup of cheese for
The
sure.
old cup of
dude.
cheese.
No,
For
no.
sure.
My brother-in-law taught my kids that when we were visiting them, and now
Yeah.
they're like cup of cheese, cup of cheese, cup of
dude.
cheese.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Chris.
Cup of cheese, dude. Hey, one time I farted in a water bottle and just left it in the garage, and just because I knew my dad was gonna be upset that I left trash,
Yeah.
and he would always take off the lid and scrunch it up so it'd take up less room in the trash.
Yeah, that's
That one hit, dude.
Farts do keep in bottles.
Mike
and
chased me
stuff.
around the yard for a while on that one.
Dude, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I can talk about it forever because it's that good. It is. It's great. It's not surface level. It's not like it's like stupid,
Yeah.
like SpongeBob or anything like that. It's just like episode is disconnected from the next episode. You know what I mean? Like there's not a story.
Oh, they're
You know what I
all
mean?
they're all disconnected.
No.
There is a story.
SpongeBob is that way. I'm
Oh,
saying.
oh,
Avatar
yes.
is not. It's book 1, book 2, book 3. There's 3 seasons.
Okay.
Oh, we're back to books.
And yeah, book 1 is water, book 2 is earth, book 3 is fire.
Okay.
He has to learn fire. He has to learn fire from somebody. Somebody has to teach him fire, right? And it's like who? Because they're all evil, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
They're the bad
Yeah.
guys. So he has to figure out how to learn fire from somebody.
I love how
So.
you've apologized for going on. I can talk about this all day, and then you talk about it more.
Dude, I could.
You're so
I'm
excited,
telling you.
dude.
I love how we could
love-
probably go to Dave and be like, "Hey, Dave, so like you like your kids? They're pretty cool." And he's like, "Yeah, all right, dude. So the Airbender,
The
right?
Airbender one.
Oh, so good. Anyway,
Kind
so
of
good.
reminds me of.
Yeah, so good. All right, my number 1, Avatar: The Last
All right.
Airbender.
Nice. So I'm gonna go number 1 here. I'm gonna think you guys are gonna be with me on this. I hope is Fresh Prince.
Dude, I almost got so excited. I thought you were gonna say Friends.
No, that's like
This is
no.
the story all about
Fresh Prince is on my honorable mention.
Yes.
I could take it, maybe just
So good, dude. You got Jazzy Jeff, you got Carlton,
Uncle Phil
Uncle
Aunt
Phil,
Viv.
classic,
and
Aunt
they
Viv.
they switched
How about
out
Aunt
their-
Viv?
Hold on,
Switching,
are we
yeah.
going? Are we going? OG Aunt Viv?
Any of
or
them. I want
second
any
Aunt
of
Viv?
them. I like any of them.
Not
dude.
mine, Viv.
Yeah.
I didn't mind, it
I
obviously was
was-
like a major switch, obviously. Like
One was
there's,
the ultra black skin.
like much darker than
Yes.
the other one.
And then
Yes.
the other one was very light skinned. We're like,
Yes.
guys, we couldn't find.
They got no effort, zero.
The
into
old
making
one
her
was
look
the
like-
darker one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
they did
yeah.
a casting and they were just like,
None.
we're not even going to try to
Nope.
make her look like her
Bring her
at
in.
all.
Yeah.
I take
Yeah.
it back though. Now that I remember, now that I'm recalling this, because I do remember all that, I am team new Aunt Viv.
Really? I like
She's
old Aunt
around
Viv.
longer,
Dude,
wasn't
old
she?
Aunt Viv was.
I think so. I think she was around longer.
Yeah, old Aunt Viv was on the season. Was on there for like 2 seasons, I think,
They
maybe
got
one.
They got the new house also. Remember they had a different house at the beginning.
yeah,
I don't remember that.
With old Aunt Viv was in the old house.
yeah.
They got a new house.
It's the American story, dude. You come up, leave the
Yeah.
old stuff, old baggage behind,
Uh-huh.
brother.
It
I
was-
got drafted. See ya. See ya.
But dude, but that show is so funny, man.
Yeah.
Like Will Smith's on there, the classic. I loved when when Jazzy Jeff came by and his uncle always threw him out, and it was clearly a dummy,
Yeah.
not a real person. You
Yeah.
just see a body and you hear him scream.
Yes.
That was great,
That's good.
man.
I remember thinking like,
I watched that a
this
lot.
kid hit the lottery, dude.
He doesn't even realize. it.
Yeah. Like buck up, dude.
Yeah.
Put the polo on and the khakis.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Hey.
yeah.
And ask Uncle Phil for a 20.
Exactly.
There's another. I'm gonna have to send you guys this clip. Do you seen the clip? We talk about tearing up earlier. She didn't tear up to Interstellar.
When he realizes his dad doesn't want him
When his
anymore.
dad goes, yeah,
Yes,
and he goes, Uncle
dude.
Phil. That one hit me in the
That
feels.
one was
dude.
good.
Did you know on that scene, he was supposed to, after that, this is what I've heard. Maybe I even, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure in that scene, he's supposed to be like, to hell with him. Like all that stuff, right? And then
Yeah.
like he's supposed to like crack a joke and then it's supposed to be end. But they the Will Smith and who, I don't know that guy's name, but they like didn't do that.
Embrace.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were like the emotion was like flowing, and it was
Yeah,
like
and he just
like
grabs
gives him
him.
a hug or whatever, and that was it. Like they just, like
Yeah.
and they ended it. I'm pretty sure. I think I heard this again. Maybe it's just internet, but I'm pretty sure they were supposed to like actually have extra lines and like crack a joke and be like whatever whatever, kind of move
Yeah.
on. But like they ended up not doing that. It just so
I do remember that scene.
it's a good it's good.
And then
I used to like how he called them all the honey. Hey, the honeys, come on. The
Uh-huh.
honeys is down there.
yeah, one of my favorite, my go-to like gifs or whatever is like him standing in that room. Like
You say GIF?
yeah.
Is this supposed to be GIF?
It's actually it's GIF or GIF, but I think the dude who invented it called it a GIF.
Correct.
Oh.
But the word is GIF is graphics interface.
Mm-hmm.
Graphics interface. So that's
GIF.
why GIF.
you
But
don't
you're
have to
right. I think you're right
apply-
that he did say is
Yeah, he
called
did
it a
say
GIF.
that's what he called
Yeah.
it, so that's what we're going with.
Anyway,
Not me.
Not me.
not my
say
GIF.
Not my GIF.
It's
But
not
what
my-
were you gonna say? Sorry.
But the one where he's standing in that room, like the last episode or whatever,
Mhm.
they clear the house out or
Mhm.
whatever. He's standing there by himself.
Yeah,
That's like a go-to one of mine. Whereas it's like, hey man, like where's everybody at? And then
yeah.
you know,
But see, I think there's more evidence of that in that scene also. Remember, he like shuts the light off and walks out, but then like Carlton runs out. I don't know if you remember that. Like he like it's really sad, and he turns off the lights and he walks out of the house, and then like Carlton runs out from the upstairs, like, "Hey, where's everybody at?" And that's how it ends,
yeah,
right? So I think that's more evidence
They
that
wanted a joke.
they wanted to they write that joke.
End it lighthearted.
Yes. So like I think that's more evidence that they did that. The other scene was supposed to be that
It
way.
was in it.
yeah.
But that's a good one. That's a good one, dude. Like it's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
Yeah.
And he's like
Dude, the
dancing.
Carlton
And the
always
Carlton
plays.
dance, man.
It still plays.
Yeah.
Every time
All right, my number one, Friends.
you were an
Dude.
old soul as a child,
you were,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
I felt like you're just like sitting there on the TV, like get out of here, Transformers.
These shows are inappropriate. There's a lot of inappropriate stuff in all the shows you've mentioned, besides Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is. Yeah. So
Even
what?
Malcolm in the Middle, depending on what age you watched
Yeah.
it.
Again, I would say that's like a teenager show.
Yeah,
Like it's
I
not
was
like
not a
terrible,
teenager.
but like,
Dude,
that's
it's
hilarious.
funny you say that because I forced my wife when we were dating to watch Friends because I love Friends
Yeah.
so much, and she was like, "I've never seen it,"
Yeah.
so I'd force her to watch it,
Uh-huh.
and there'd be times I'd be watching it, and I'm like,
Dude.
I don't think I should have watched this when I was a kid.
no,
Yeah, there's several of those deals.
yeah. I was never a Friends person.
Dude,
it just
Friends
never
still-
resonated with
Friends
me. Probably the
still
time.
plays, dude.
I'm with you. I can't get into it.
Why?
I don't know. It's too corny. It's very, very, very corny.
Yeah, but that was
Yeah.
it. That was what was going on back
True.
then.
No, you're right. You're right. It was exactly it made for the time it was made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for sure. But like it's just
Yeah.
the jokes are so on the nose. They're so on the nose, and like there's like the laugh track, and it's just I don't know,
Dude, speaking of that, have you ever watched
gotta try it
Friends
again.
without the laugh track?
No.
That hit the internet recently.
Really?
Really?
It's super sad, super dark. No laugh track.
Yeah.
It's not
Not
good.
good.
Not good at all. And then like you call back because Matt Perry like killed himself and was a drug addict, and so you're like,
right.
"Ugh,
Dang, yeah.
there's might have been some manifestation going
Yeah.
on here.
Mm.
But I love Friends, dude.
I was gonna say I never got into that, but like during that same time, I was definitely a King and Queens guy. I was definitely Everybody Loves Raymond.
Mhm.
One that I
Those
love.
got crossover. Do you know that?
They did. Yeah, they
crossed
met
over.
up.
Yeah, they cross over those two shows.
Yeah, Everybody Loves Raymond is another like great one that just
Mhm.
resonates as an adult married guy with kids now. where you're
With
just
a
like-
mother-in-law that you don't like. and
Yeah,
I wouldn't know anything about that. I love my mother-in-law.
yeah. Shout out,
Shout out,
Hey,
Connie.
Connie.
Yep, that's my list. Oh, honorable mentions.
Okay.
Let me run through this
Oh
real
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
And hold
I
on.
got-
What's your number one?
My number one was Friends.
Friends.
My number was Friends.
Hunter,
I'm just gonna-
honorable mentions X Files.
I'm just gonna run through some of these. Some of these are like Doug. I had on there.
Okay.
Rocket
Okay.
Power
Yeah,
was a hitter back in the day.
On a mission.
Hawaiians, dude.
you outgrew those pretty quick though.
Shaka. Oh yeah, dude.
Rugrats.
Rugrats. Rugrats
Oh,
was
yeah.
a hitter.
Yeah.
Hey Arnold. Hey football head.
Yep.
What else is? Oh, dude.
Helga.
So Fresh Prince was on there. CSI. CSI was a hitter for me when I was a kid, dude.
Oh wow.
CSI was
Law and Order SVU.
and then my other one that I struggled with not putting in my top 5 was Wishbone.
I don't even
What
know what
is
that
that?
is. Yeah.
Come on, Wishbone. It was a dog
Okay.
that would.
This sounds like a kid show, though.
It was a kid show. This was age appropriate. This is like one of the
Good, man.
few
I'm
age appropriates.
I'm happy for you.
But I would watch it. I'd go to my grandma's house after school, turn it on. She'd make me like 2 grilled cheeses and a box of mac and cheese. I just munched down and watch Wishbone.
Dude.
But Wishbone was a dog that would like open up a book and he'd put his paws on the book and then he'd be transported into the time. So it was
I
a
got
Three
it.
Musketeers
Sure.
book and
Yeah.
he was like D'Artagnan or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And
Dude, this is a kid show.
yes,
Yes.
it was. And I was a hitter. Magic School Bus was also a hitter for me.
Okay.
Dude,
Yeah.
Magic School Bus is
Miss
a good one.
Frizzle.
What I thought that'd be hilarious if you had like an all adult list and then like you're like number 1, Arthur.
Blues
Arthur,
Clues.
yeah.
exactly.
Hey, Arthur was tight, dude. Arthur was cool.
good, but it's kind of like
I grew out of Arthur. I grew out of Arthur
learning.
real quick.
Yeah.
dude.
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
It was on PBS.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
PBS, so you
Yeah.
already knew like, oh, I gotta learn something.
Well, I think
here.
Wishbone was a PBS.
Was it?
I think
Okay.
so.
yeah.
Dude,
But also, I showed my kids. They have the old Magic School Bus on there on Netflix.
Yeah.
and they have like
The newer one.
The newer one, and it's like Frizzle's sister.
Sister,
or something
yeah.
like that.
yeah.
I was like, oh, guys, you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
They could care less.
Hate
it.
They were like, this is dumb.
Dumb.
My daughter got into the newer,
The newer
one.
one.
for
I would.
a bit.
And that's one. That's one of the ones I like. I like science. Like
Yeah.
today we were eating dinner and I killed a wasp. He was making a nest and I was in the middle.
Yeah.
We're eating outside and I'm like taking his little half-made nest, showing him all the larvae in it. I'm like, guys, check
Check
this
this out.
out. See this? I was like, dude, we're eating dinner.
Yeah.
man.
I got a joke to tell
So
you.
I love
off
that
air
stuff.
about Magic School Bus of a meme that I saw.
All right.
That's a good one. I
What's
think
your honorable man?
we gotta talk to your dad about these shows, dude.
We gotta talk to your dad about a
What
lot
were
of
you
stuff,
Dude, Mike, let it rip, dude.
Yeah.
man.
Now you're kind of seeing how I am now. You're like, I know why you are that
It don't
way.
make sense. It's
I'll
all
never
good.
forget the time I like rolled up in my minivan, just blaring some like thuggy rap,
Yeah.
and Hayner's just like, this doesn't make any sense.
I'm not too far from.
That's funny.
All right, what's your honorable mentions?
I definitely had Hey Arnold. It was one of my
That's
favorites.
great.
Gargoyles was a big one of mine.
That was not. I
They
know what you're
turned
talking
into
about. I
statues
never watched it ever.
Became
but I
alive.
know.
Died the action figures and stuff.
Mhm.
That was a tight one. And then, God, I just lost it. Oh, X-Men. X-Men was one of my
Like a
favorites.
cartoon?
Always a big X-Men guy. Yeah.
Ah,
So they
okay.
did the revival. X-Men
Mm-hmm.
97 is when it came out or
Mhm.
whatever. They like revamped it and changed some things or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the original. That was on for like 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah. I was a
Mhm.
huge X-Men guy as a kid.
Yeah.
Didn't watch any of those.
Oh, yeah. So,
I
You
didn't-
know, but that reminds me, because like you guys talked about Dragon Ball Z and or Pokemon, all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. We should talk next time about like games you played growing up. because I never played any of the. I never played any of those games. I always thought they were dumb. But I played Pogs. Did you guys ever play Pogs? Like
Where you slap
the little discs and you had a slammer.
Yeah.
And if you flip over the other kid's Pog,
maybe.
if you flip it over, you keep his Pog.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a hitter.
Interesting.
We could hit that. We could roll with that.
You tired?
No, I'm good. I didn't do any, I don't know, mentions. Something come to
Your
mind.
list was solid, bro.
Drake and Josh. You ever watch Drake and Josh? Smart guy.
Smart guy was good.
Even Stevens.
The famous Jet Jackson.
I didn't watch that one.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was
I
a
didn't
good
watch
one.
that
Even Stevens was a good one
Even
for me.
Stevens.
See, Disney Channel.
Even like That's So Raven. I like That's So Raven.
See,
Nah,
Disney
I wasn't
Channel
that
had
sort of-
more of the
My sister watched that one.
like live. I don't know what you
Yes,
call it, like
they did.
sitcom-y type
Yes,
shows.
Yes.
And then Nickelodeon
Animation.
had like all the animation and stuff.
Correct.
And
Oh,
then
Yeah,
Cartoon
Teen
Net-
Nick. Teen Nick, though. That was Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't
I
watch. any of
forgot
those.
about
All
Teen Nick.
that.
And then there was
Hannah
like Nick
Montana.
Jr.
All that was like the SNL
Yep.
for kids.
for
kids.
kids. Love that.
Keenan Thompson.
Dude,
Keenan
Welcome to
Thompson.
Good Burger. Home of the Good Burger.
Yeah.
Can
I
I
was
take
gonna
your
say,
order?
Kenan Thompson's basically been doing skits his whole life.
Whole career.
He's
Whole life.
He's banging them
He's-
out.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
great at them. I love all
Dude,
this
talk
stuff.
about, it's funny. I wrote it down as you guys were talking, the Nickelodeon Disney thing. And I was like, I could care less when I was a kid. But Nickelodeon, the Temple Run,
Temple Run.
like where they have like
was
teams, like
tight.
3 kids versus 3 kids.
That
and
was
you'd have
Legend
to-
of the Hidden Temple.
Yes,
Yeah.
dude.
And Double Dare 2000 and those.
Double
like,
Dare. And they had like the
reality shows.
ooze, all that. I like
Mhm,
that.
The slime.
And you know what's funny is when you said that, I know I just started watching Survivor on Paramount because it's on. I was like, and I watched. I'm a huge Barstool guy, so they have like a Survivor. And I was like, I love it. So I started watching Survivor, the season 48, the most recent one that's out.
Season what?
48.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're talking about like they're prepping for season 50.
But they did like
Wow.
20. They did like 2 seasons like in
A year. 2 seasons a year.
Yeah.
But still,
That's
dude, I love Survivor.
really.
I've never
I'm
watched it.
into.
Neither.
Neither, and I didn't either really.
Okay.
But I started watching because I like the Barstool version.
Yeah.
But I know all those people. I know
Yeah,
those. I've been following them since like Barstool
Yeah.
started. So I'm like, let me try the real one, like because it was based off of this real Survivor. I love Survivor, and it all makes sense because I loved Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yes.
Those games. I'm like, oh, this all makes sense. Real World versus Road Rules, like all those. I've always loved those. I'm
Yeah,
like,
game
oh yeah,
shows.
I've always liked this.
Kind of like game shows.
Of course,
essentially,
yeah.
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 Dude, Legend of the Hidden Temple was good. That one, that was definitely an honorable mention for me. I watched that all the time. I remember creating my swing set. I created a swing set because remember at the end, the team that won, was the
You had
blue,
to go through the thing and get
blue-
the monkey.
the blue barracudas or the silver snakes or whatever,
Yeah.
and they would go in, and then there'd be like the guardians. They would like pop out, and then you like if you had like a medallion. And you gave them the medallion,
They let you pass,
go.
yeah.
And then but if they got you again, then you had to go out, and your teammate got to go in.
Right.
Right, and then it was just great. I remember my swing set was like, "Oh, this is the room with the spider, and this is like, and you're
Yeah.
jumping across." Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what
That's a good one.
still haunts me from my childhood is
Chucky.
no,
Oh.
well that too, but Tales from the Crypt.
I don't.
Dude,
I didn't watch
The
that
start,
one.
the intro of that with a guy's
Brother,
face.
preach, brother.
It's still burned into my brain, dude.
I had a reoccurring
Why
nightmare
is
of
that?
that guy popping
why
up.
why was that on?
Why? Why did that exist?
Who asked for that?
I didn't watch that one. I watched Are You Afraid of the Dark, which
Yeah.
was like the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it was like a kids horror show. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Why, dude? That was so. I remember at my Scarred for Life. I was in my babysitter. I went to night time at the same time every day. I watched a movie, and then the movie ended, and it like clicked back on to the TV.
Yeah.
And every single day, it was "Are You Afraid of the Dark?" at the same time.
Yep.
And I was so shy as a kid. I literally was like, I did not like talking to adults. Like I was like super. So I just watched it every single day.
You're just like, I was just gonna watch it.
I hated it. It was like I'm like, why? Why does this exist?
And it was scary stuff,
Yes,
man.
it was.
It wasn't no like lighthearted, like, oh, here's a mummy
No.
and toilet
Oh.
paper. It's coming out and it's gonna get you. Ha! And he like, I'm
Dude,
gonna
that
eat
dude
cookies
from
together.
Tales, I still see it in the Spirit Halloween stores and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, that guy haunted me for
Yeah,
years.
and
Like-
they were like in the
like
executive
dolls and
boardroom or
stuff.
something, and they're just like, all right, guys, like we got this market cornered. Like we got
They're
them
gonna-
entertained with
They're
Power
probably-
Rangers. We got them entertained with like, hey,
No, dude, they're
Arnold.
targeting me. They're like, this kid has been watching all this grown up stuff for so long. What can we give him next?
Yeah,
Haunted shows.
That's a great. No way it's on my list, but it impacted me for sure. Those
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
shows.
they're like,
Is
yeah.
the anti top 5.
Dude.
They're like,
yeah,
hey
it's-
guys, we're making them dream. We're making them laugh.
Yeah.
We're selling them stuff during the commercials.
Yeah, we got all the markets. What are we missing here? They're like, hey, dude, what if we like scare the crap out of them their whole life?
Dude, that's so
They're
funny.
like, Bob's onto something
That's-
here.
Dude, blanket sales were down. They're like, how are we gonna get more blankets?
Yeah,
we gotta scare them so kids need more blankets to
No,
hide underneath.
That's funny. What's interesting to me about that it isn't a thing something that I was thinking about recently. Old shows and movies. So stuff now is more like explicit, right? Like you watch a Netflix show, like full on nudity and like stuff like that.
Right.
Way more explicit than shows back then.
Yeah.
But
Not what I'm watching. I don't know what you're doing.
But I mean, I don't. Yeah. But anyway, shows back then weren't as like explicit like that, right?
Right.
But they would sneak stuff in
Yes.
to shows like kids movies, like shows that weren't for adults. I was like, what? Because like I watched it as an adult. I'm like,
Why is
what
this-
is this?
right.
Like go back to Power Rangers, which was on both of our lists. The
Yeah.
movie. Power Rangers movie where they fight Ivan Ooze, right? They lose their powers and they have to go to this island to get their powers back.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right? They go to this island and then like these birds are attacking them and like they don't have any power. So the birds are beating them. They're like, oh my God, we can't fight. And it's like this like robed figure
In like fur.
she jumps down and she's like, and this, well, you don't know it's a she, but she's like kicking the butts. Like just like she's
Kicking the butts.
She's like whooping up on these birds, like bird human things. And and then they fly away. And then like she takes off her robe. She's in a bikini.
Yep.
She is like in a freaking
Thong.
two-piece. I'm like, as a kid, didn't cross my mind. But I watched it like later. I haven't seen that movie for years. But I watched it later. I'm like, what? This is in this movie?
What about
Like what? Like why?
I just thought of two more.
Who decided that? Who decided to put that in the middle of a children's movie?
Yeah.
It's like she could be wearing anything, right?
Yeah.
She could be
Even
wearing
just put her in spandex like everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
She
Cover
could have been wearing
body
a
up.
t-shirt
But yeah.
and shorts.
I'm like-
and still done everything.
that stuff like that. I feel like was much more common back in the day, where they would just like throw in like
they talk
weirdly
about-
sexual stuff.
Well, they
like,
talk about like, so I was an X-Men character, like X-Men guy.
sure.
And you go back and look at like the cartoon characters, like the X-Men and
Mm.
stuff, and it was like, what? What?
Yeah,
Dude, what about did you guys ever watch Xena the Warrior Princess?
Yeah.
I know of it. I didn't.
Yeah,
actually watch
She
it.
was like she was always like that. And it was like same with like Hercules.
Hercules, they had a
It was
crossover.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was one I watched all the time. And Texas Ranger, dude, Chuck Norris.
Ooh, in the eyes of the ranger.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying though?
Forbidden
Like
stranger.
those
For
shows,
sure.
like in those like Xena
Yes.
and Xena and
Difference
Hercules, they weren't
between
like
right and wrong.
full on like full frontal nudity,
Right.
whatever. But they were just like, oh, no big deal. We're just gonna throw it in the whole movie. Like she's like not dressed at all. You know what I mean? Not even address it. Just
I had
how
this
it is.
conversation with my son today.
Yeah, I was just like, it's
'Cause
weird.
We were talking about something, and he brought up WWE,
Mhm.
like wrestling,
Mhm.
and he's like, "How come I can't? Is it inappropriate to watch that?" And I'm like, "Nah, dude. Like, I don't care about WWE.
Mhm.
Why I don't let you watch wrestling is because I don't know when the girl matches are coming on,
100%.
and they're not. And then we like went in like modesty
Modesty,
and
sure.
all that stuff,
Sure.
and he
Yeah.
gets it because he's like, "Oh yeah, those girls on the corner, they always." I'm like, "Yeah, exactly. You get
so
it."
we've
Murph.
been
Like, you don't
hassling
need to be watching.
you this whole
Yeah.
time about stuff you should have been watching as a kid. I watched wrestling as a kid, like
Mm.
all three of the networks or whatever.
Yeah.
I only watched it with my grandpa
Yeah.
because of my dad
Yeah.
was like, he's not watching this. My grandpa was like,
And-
check this out. You're
And,
gonna love this,
Dude, I should not have been watching
Yeah.
any of that.
No.
Like they were pushing the boundaries of what you could put on
Yes.
TV and
Right.
stuff
Yes.
back then. That was like because there was the wars between WCW and WWE or
Yeah.
NWO and all those.
Yeah, but
spun off.
they
Yeah.
like they found the model of like, hey, dude, if we don't make this kiddish and we pertain to like adults,
Mm.
like, and we put adult stuff on here,
Mhm.
we're gonna blow through and they did, and it was like,
Mhm.
but what they put out there was this horrible,
Right.
Yeah.
bro. And I'm like soaking all this in as a kid, and then like
Yeah.
later on as an adult, I'm like, there's no way I should be watching any of that.
Right.
No business.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, it is something that was interesting to me, thinking about these older movies and older shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Where like, they were a little more they were a little more subtle, I guess,
Mhm.
back then. And now it's just like, here's a sex scene for like 3 minutes in the middle of
Yeah.
every single show. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, okay, great.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That's episode
Great
8,
list.
boys.
Good pod, boys.
that is awesome. Good list.
Good
Episode
pod,
8.
dogs.
I
Get
don't
on out of here,
I don't have anything else
dogs.
to say. So
All right.
until next time, we'll see you later.
Get that dog out of here.